investment. We'll start with Frank Nettie, a beautiful saying, sound investment will decrease the time during which you work for money and increase the time during which money will work for you. When we started personal financial planning, I opened with a concept called financial freedom. A person who is financially free will work because he or she wants to work, not because they have to work. That is the whole concept of financial freedom. Investment, sound investment, is something like a fruit-bearing tree. You plant it, you water it, if need be manure it, look after it, in short, look after it for sometimes a long time, sometimes decades. At some point of time, this tree is going to do two things for you. Number one, it's going to provide shade and be very environment friendly. Number two, it is probably going to give you fruit. Some sort of fruit. If it does not give fruit, one day it will have timber value. Investment portfolios are just like that. You have to work on them. There is another saying in investment. If you work on an investment, it will work for you. There is a nurturing period when the investment does not appear to be anything spectacular. Certain investments like equity shares and real estate can diminish in value. We have seen both things happening in India in real estate. We had an unfettered boom from 2003 to 2013. Property prices, at least in this city, went up on the average 10 times in 10 years. Huge boom. It was almost a bubble. Now from the last 2.5 years, prices have been in decline. Where the stock market is concerned, we have seen the kind of turbulence in the world stock markets in the last, month. So volatility, turbulence, prices going up and down are part and parcel of the markets. If this does not happen, it is not a market. So we have to understand this, and we need not be unduly perturbed by them. The point remains that if we concentrate on, if we focus on building a sound investment portfolio during our economically productive years, when we have the energy, strength, ability to work and earn money, what we have put by now will help us in later years. The investment will start working for us later. When we speak about investment, think of the investment as exactly that tool there on which the camera is mounted, a tripod. Understand the investment tripod. An investment, when we look at its purposes, for what we use it, it has three main legs. It rests on, or it can be used for three main purposes. It can be used for parking funds. It can be used for earning regular returns. It can be used for growth. Very briefly, let us examine these three legs of an investment strategy. The first is parking. There are two aspects to parking. One is pure parking. The second is emergency funding. Emergency funding I have already explained in an earlier presentation. When we talk about emergency funding, we are creating a fund to meet emergencies, and my advice has always been create a fund at least equal to 1 year's normal living expenses. When we are talking about pure parking is something a little different. The best way it can be explained is by means of an example. Let us say I have sold a property, a real estate property, worth about 50 lakh rupees. Now with this real estate property, I want to purchase another property. It is not easy to either buy or sell properties. We all know that. Even in the boom, you can't do it like you trade a stock at the press of a button or on a phone call. There are a number of processes. There is no continuous liquid market. You have to engage somebody or you have to do your own searching for it. Now, you have sold property, you have received the money is in your bank account. When will you buy the property? When you find and decide upon a suitable property. That can take a fortnight, a month, sometimes you may not get it even after several months or a year. In the meantime, the money has to be parked somewhere. It should be somewhere safe, somewhere liquid. It should be ready for use when you find your property. The same avenues of investment that we have seen and discussed earlier in the emergency funding. Anything that is safe and liquid, returns are not important here. Safety is important. The principal should not be threatened. Liquidity should not be threatened. The definition of a really sound liquid investment is something that I can encash within 24 hours, either on the same day or the next day. So some of these things that we have seen in emergency funding, you will see that the same things are being reproduced even for pure parking. It's the same objectives that emergency funding and pure parking has: high liquidity, high safety. This is the first leg of the investment tripod. We can use our investments for just parking funds. The second leg of the tripod is investing for earning regular returns. Now, in regular returns, I have a very important point to make. But first, let us look at the regular returns avenues available to most people. I hardly have to explain this because we are quite familiar with these kind of investments. We have got small savings investments in India. We also have bank fixed deposits in India. Nobody really needs to explain. You have got the post office monthly income scheme. When the interest rates collapse, there is still the 8% taxable Government of India savings bonds. They are available through branches of State Bank of India, available through certain brokers. A lot of people do not know about them, and they totally become unpopular when the interest rates are high. But today we are having interest rates of 7.25, 7.5. Let us just assume that in the next 6 months or a year, interest rates go down by another 0.5 to 0.75%, and you suddenly find bank fixed deposit interest rates dropping to about, say, 6.5%. Then the 8% Government of India savings bond will certainly become attractive, so long as they do not change the interest rate on this particular bond. Then, of course, you have got various options in the post office. Actually, they are small savings investments. You have got bank fixed deposits, and there are a few options from mutual funds which are safe and liquid, the liquid funds, the short-term floating rate funds, the ultra-short bond funds. About this, of course, your mutual fund advisors will suggest good options for you. People have even investments in long-term bank fixed deposits. You can have it in long-term bank fixed deposits, provided you can withdraw from the bank fixed deposits without any penalty. Here is where we have to be very, very careful. A lot of banks charge a penalty for premature encashment. Therefore, you have to find out from the bank what are the terms and conditions for premature encashment penalties before you put your money there, not afterward. There can be also a slightly tricky situation. I do not know whether you are aware. State Bank of India, if your deposit is 5 lakhs or less and you prematurely encash it as per today's rules, there is no penalty. But if your deposit is more than 5 lakh rupees and you cash it prematurely, there is a 1% penalty. Now, supposing you have just exceeded this 5 lakh rupees by a little bit, you have got a 6 lakh deposit. On the 5 lakh deposit, there was no penalty. On 6 lakhs you lose 6,000. So that is why it is very, very important to be absolutely conversant with the rules for premature cashing of bank deposits. You can save some money that you simply unnecessarily would lose otherwise. Those of us who have long-term investments in the Public Provident Fund account, PPF, a lot of people use this for meeting their regular returns. People have invested in the PPF, some of them, for decades. Because the PPF was started, I think, in 1969. So, in the 40-45 years that have passed, people have put a lot of money, and many of them, during their active working lives, never withdrew from the PPF. Today, they have large amounts in the PPF. Many of them have 80, 90 lakhs, 1 crore in the PPF account, earning at present 8.7% tax-free. So, what they do is, every year, they withdraw a certain amount, what they require. 5 or 6 lakh rupees that they think they will cover their expenses for the next year. This is a very good strategy, and this is what the PPF is designed for. It is designed to be a retirement investment, and in retirement, if you need regular returns, you must withdraw. One or two words of caution about the PPF. Only one withdrawal is permitted per year. This is one thing that you have to understand. Only one withdrawal. So you cannot make more than one withdrawal. How do you meet in case there's a sudden emergency and you need to withdraw more? I always suggest your annual regular withdrawal for the first time when you do it, always try to make it in the month of March every year, because it is per financial year, not calendar year. So say 2015-16, we are in January. If you want to start withdrawing, delay your first withdrawal till March. When you withdraw in March, you have got, let's say you needed 5 lakhs, you have taken 5 lakhs out. Now, if you do not need more and if there are no emergencies, make your next withdrawal the next March. But supposing there is an unforeseen event where you need more money, from the 1st of April, you are entitled to one more withdrawal. You are entitled to one more withdrawal. So you reserve that right to withdraw if needed, so-called out of turn. This would be a good way of handling the PPF withdrawals. Now let me come to a very important point about regular returns, where most people, most normal investors make terrible mistakes. When we use these terms, regular returns, we must understand what this term means. What are regular returns? Now, all of us have incomes. All of us have expenses in our normal working lives. There is a phase, maybe from the mid-20s or early 20s, till maybe the 60s, even mid-60s, some people work a little bit even after retirement. 3 to 4 decades, where we work, we earn. So long as we work and earn, what we notice is that these earnings are generally enough to take care of your expenses. You may be in employment, you may be a professional, you may be in business. After a time, whatever economically productive activity you have undertaken gets in money to meet your expenses. In short, during that phase of your life, there is no need for regular return. What you earn, your earnings are your regular inflows. When do you need regular returns? You need regular returns when you do not have regular returns from any other source, let's say in retirement. At that time, when you need regular returns, you have to look at regular returns avenues. But what a good deal of people do is, all savings will go into small savings or let us say bank deposits. Even at 9% bank fixed deposit, if you are in the 30.9% tax bracket, what you are earning after 30.9% tax is just 6.2% or 6.21%. Many times that is not enough to take care of even inflation. So we have to realize that what you see may not be what you get. We have to always get into this mindset of calculating what is called the post-tax return. After tax, what am I getting? In which tax bracket I am? If I am getting 9% on my bank deposit, I am in the 0% tax bracket. Up to 2,50,000 we don't have to pay tax for a normal person. If I am there, then what I see is what I get. 9% is 9%. But if I am in the 30.9% bracket, if you do your calculation, what I see is 9%, what I get is 6.21%. So this is something that we have to be careful. One more very dangerous thing about putting all your savings into bank fixed deposits or other taxable regular returns avenues during your working life is many times this extra interest that falls into your earnings can succeed in pushing you into a higher tax bracket. Somebody who is earning 40,000 a month will be 4.8 lakhs. And this 4.8 lakhs will be 10% bracket. Now they have got a 15 lakh bank deposit. Even at 8% interest, it is 1.2 lakhs of interest per annum. 4.8 and when you add this 1.2, you are earning now 6 lakhs. From above 5 lakhs, you who were in the 10% bracket are now going into the 20% bracket. So you have to be careful about these traps. Let me make the important point about regular returns investments. Regular returns investments are advised only when you need regular returns. Only when you need regular returns. When you don't need regular returns, follow a balanced asset allocation plan with a considerable focus on growth investments. Let us just pause for a moment here and focus where we are on the investments. Our money can be used for three purposes or deployed to give us to meet three objectives. We may sometimes need to park funds. We also need to create an emergency fund. Second is regular returns. But regular returns is only when we need to earn a regular return. There is no other income. There is no rental income. There is no other, say, dividends on shares. I am not working, so there is no salary income. Or I was a doctor. I have now given up my practice, so I am not earning income. But I have expenses. Expenses do not stop. Income may fluctuate or income may stop. I need to meet my expenses. Now I need some bank deposit, some other thing coming in regularly. When we need regular returns, we can have regular returns investments. When we do not need, do not put your savings into regular returns investments. They yield lower rates and they are taxable. And this will actually result in a destruction of wealth, not an increase of wealth. When you are working and earning, when you do not need regular returns, where should your savings go? Your savings should go into first creating an emergency fund. After that, into growth avenues of investment.